My beloved child, how many times have you collapsed? How many times have you wanted to stop halfway along the path I called you to walk? Yet it is precisely in the moment you think you have lost me that I am closest to you. A miracle is not something your eyes can see. It is the quiet strength that keeps you moving forward, even when your heart feels utterly worn and broken. When Elijah was hungry in the wilderness, exhausted to the point where he could scarcely take another step, I used a raven, an unexpected creature, to feed him each morning. A black raven on the edge of the sky became an instrument of hope. In the same way, when your strength runs dry, I will choose what you least expect to lift you up. There are days when you walk with a heart as heavy as stone and wonder why I remain silent. Yet you do not know that this silence is not meant to drive you into despair, but to teach your heart to surrender rather than resist. Faith is not born in moments of strength. It grows in the hours when you tremble and still whisper, "Lord, I believe." When you place into my hands what you can no longer hold, that is the moment the door of miracles begins to open. You often see trials as wounds, but I see them as a refining furnace. Just as gold must pass through fire to become pure, your soul must pass through long nights to be freed from what binds it. Yet in that fire, I do not stand far away. I am right beside you, not accusing, not condemning, only resting, my hand on your shoulder in silence. My presence is the healing oil, soothing the cracks you have hidden for too long. Where you hurt, I bend down there. You are impatient for an escape, while I am quietly building a road. Waiting makes you feel as though time is being wasted, but in truth, it is the space I give your soul to mature. And when you believe you have reached your final limit, that is when I renew your strength and open a door you thought would never open again. Your future is not shaped by what you have lost, but by my hand, the one who restores from ruins and raises what is far beyond your understanding. At times I see your soul as weary as a bird, faltering beneath a darkened sky, and I know your faith is wavering. You pray, yet your hands still clutch your worries, as though you fear I am not strong enough to hold your fragile life. This inner struggle weighs your heart down, because you long to surrender and yet try to keep everything under control. You think faith is a powerful feeling, but in truth, faith begins when you choose to believe, even when you feel nothing at all. I do not reproach you for these moments of weakness, but I want you to see this: if you only believe when everything is clear, that is not faith, but habit reliance on what your eyes can see. And it is in your darkest days that I am given room to enter and bring forth wonder. Sometimes you ask, why have I prayed for so long and still see nothing? I hear every word you speak, but I also see the walls you have built around your heart: fear of disappointment, doubt about your own worth, and old wounds that keep you from fully surrendering. These are what block the light, not because I am unwilling, but because you have not opened the door wide enough for me to enter. You want my intervention, yet you cling tightly to control, like one who is drowning but still grips a stone, thinking it will keep them afloat. I gently remind you that faith does not grow through control, but through the courage to let go. And when you let go, you will see that I have been standing before you all along. My dear one, remember that I do not wait for your perfection before performing miracles. I only ask for a willing heart, even one as small as a mustard seed, and that is enough to unlock every door you thought was sealed shut. When you place your whole trust in me, you are not only handing me your problems, but also the key that allows me to lead you out of every dead end. Surrender is not defeat. It is the choice to trust that I can do what your strength cannot. Each time you dare to believe in this way, something unseen in heaven and earth begins to move on your behalf. Let me carry what you have borne for too long, for only when you lay it down will your hands be light enough to receive the miracle. I see how often you try to stand by your own strength, only to lose your breath in the whirlwind of yourself. You forget that faith is not built on strain, but on the living connection between your heart and mine. When you pray with a distracted mind, your prayer becomes only an echo, not yet touching the depth of your soul. And when the soul is closed, it is hard to recognize how quietly I am working in the smallest details. I want you to pause, take a slow breath, and allow me into the darker places you tend to hide. I am not searching for eloquent prayers. I am seeking a heart that truly longs to return. When you dare to entrust everything to me, the miracle lies not only in the outcome, but in the transformation within you. Surrender lightens you and helps you see that some things I allow are not meant to break you, but to teach you how to grow in the light. You will begin to realize that even the most painful trials carry a sacred purpose you have not yet grasped. And when faith is kindled, you will have the peace to see those trials no longer as threats, but as a process I am quietly unfolding. True faith always leads you deeper into the understanding that suffering is not a sign of my absence, but the furnace where I refine and lift you day by day, like a silent current beneath the earth. Much of what I do in your life comes not with thunder, but through deep, quiet layers that make you think I am far away. Yet it is there that your soul is sharpened brighter, stronger, truer before stepping into what has been promised to you. You see suffering as an unavoidable burden, but I see it as the beginning of a necessary process of formation. For a soul to be strong enough to carry blessing, it must pass through trials the mind cannot easily explain. You do not know that in every dark night, my hand still rests upon your life, so gently that only those who persist in seeking me can feel it. So do not fear the darkness too quickly. Sometimes it is the garment I wear to transform you quietly. There are moments when I see your eyes fill with tears because you do not understand why your path has grown so narrow. When you try to escape pain at all costs, you unknowingly miss the lessons I have placed there. Like precious gems covered in dust, people often think suffering is a sign of abandonment. But in truth, those I love deeply are refined most profoundly. This shaping does not diminish you. It awakens a resilience you never knew you had. Every pain, if you allow me to touch it, becomes a mark of light engraved upon your soul, so that one day, looking back, you will be grateful you did not run away, and then you will understand I did not wound you to punish you, but to prepare you for a greater stature. At times I see you clinging to what is old, afraid that letting go will cost you everything you once hoped for. You do not realize that these very things are weighing your soul down, like a boat overloaded with unnecessary cargo. Suffering often comes when I want you to learn to release what has expired in your life, old expectations, relationships that no longer nourish your soul, or thoughts that quietly harm you day after day. I do not want you to move forward with a heart burdened by such weight, for a bound soul cannot receive what I am preparing. Let me loosen each knot within you, even when the unraveling aches. Only then will you feel how much lighter you are before the wind. Sometimes pain causes you to shrink inward, like a leaf curling in the cold, afraid that opening again will only invite more hurt. But my child, I do not want you to become a prisoner of old wounds. I want you to see that in every trial, I am right there, not with a whip, but with compassionate eyes and patient hands. If you allow me into that space of pain, I will turn fear into a new source of strength and tears into healing streams that revive what has withered within you. Trust that no drop of pain is meaningless when placed in my hands, and when you begin to see suffering through the eyes of faith, you will discover that it is the doorway to a stronger version of who you are becoming. One day, in the midst of the days you think you can no longer endure, you will notice that your heart has grown softer, humbler, and more attentive. The purification you undergo is not meant to exhaust you, but to make you transparent before me. A transparent soul reflects light more easily. Just as silver shines only after passing through fire, you will see the world with different eyes, no longer perceiving only pain, but also the purpose hidden within it, a purpose I have been whispering to your soul for a long time. And when your heart has been gently reordered, you will hear more clearly the tenderness I have patiently been sending, a tenderness that does not roar like a storm, but warms like a hand resting over your heart after your most weary hours. Then you will understand that what I desire is not only for you to overcome trials, but to be healed by my very presence, which will continue to lead you deeper along this journey. When your soul emerges from these layers of refinement, I see within you a quiet emptiness, like a lake after rain still, yet lingering with a chill. It is precisely then that I draw closer than ever, not with thunder or dazzling signs, but with a gentle silence. You have grown used to thinking I appear through extraordinary acts, yet my love is most often revealed in small moments, a breath of peace, a slow exhale, a tear wiped away. There are times you are too tired even to pray, and in those moments, my presence becomes the prayer you cannot form. I do not come to question your weakness. I come so you may know that weakness is not a fault. It is a signal calling you back into my arms. And there, you will learn that true healing does not come from what you do, but from allowing me to remain. There are days when your heart fractures under small disappointments no one else sees. You hide them, thinking I am occupied with greater things, and that your quiet pain is unworthy of my attention. But my child, I hear both the sobs without words and the sorrows you cannot name. I draw near to the wounded soul not to interrogate, but to soothe with a tenderness you often forget you deserve. In my eyes, your pain has never been trivial. I cherish every fragment like a jeweler handling shards that long to be made whole again. When you allow me to enter, I heal not only the wound, but also the fears that have prolonged it. Healing begins the moment you stop trying to be strong alone. I know there are moments when you ask yourself, why didn't I come sooner? Why did I let you cry for so long? You cannot see that every tear you shed has watered a piece of ground where I was preparing something new. Suffering opens your heart, opens your eyes, and opens a way for me to enter in a manner peaceful days could never achieve. My presence does not come to erase the past, but to transform it into a witness of mercy. I do not heal by covering things with a false layer of peace. I heal by going to the very root, pulling out each thorn you have carried for years. There are things I heal in an instant, and there are things I heal layer by layer, so your soul can learn how to breathe again without trembling. And when you begin to feel relief, you will know it was I who sat beside you from the beginning. In the stillness I give, you will gradually realize my love is not the roar of victory, but the gentle warmth that holds a weary heart. I want you to know I do not seek the strong to walk with me. I seek the willing, those who will let me carry them. You do not have to force yourself to become better to be loved by me. I loved you even when you were at your most fragile. If you listen closely, you will recognize that the moments of peace you thought were mere coincidence were, in truth, the footprints of my passing, and those very moments become a shelter for your soul when storms rush in. Do not be afraid when you find yourself weak. That very weakness is the door through which I enter more fully. There will come a time when, after long days of darkness, you rise again and realize that the healing I give brings not only comfort, but a fresh strength. You do not return as you were when you left. You become deeper, more sensitive, and able to hear my voice more clearly than before. My presence has softened the hardened places within you, preparing you for the next steps on the path I have set apart for you. When a heart is healed, it learns to wait, to trust, to see hope even in prolonged silences. And in that same season, you will step into another lesson I will teach, one that requires patience, expectancy, and an even deeper trust, because the journey with me has never ended at healing. It always leads to greater things that are waiting ahead, as healing begins to settle over your soul like a gentle morning dew. I see something else in your eyes, the uncertainty you feel as you enter the land of waiting. There are dreams you have laid before me, prayers you have whispered with trembling, and you stand before a stretch of silence as though it were the final test of faith. You think I am delaying, but in truth, I am using the waiting itself to teach you what instant miracles could never teach. Waiting is not punishment. It is the place where I reweave your heart with threads of patience and steadfast trust. I do not want you to ask and quickly forget. I want you to learn to hold my hand in moments that seem meaningless. This slow step will open in you a depth of faith you have never touched before. There are days you look up to the sky and sigh. Why has it not come yet, Lord? And I hear that question not as a complaint, but as a longing to be guided. You do not know that the timing I choose is always in harmony with what is best for your soul, even when you do not yet understand. If I answered every prayer immediately, you would lean on miracles instead of leaning on me. Waiting softens the sharp edges of impatience, teaching you to place your hope in what you cannot yet see, but still believe is drawing near. I let you pass through this silence because within it you learn the language of steadiness, the language only persevering souls truly understand. And when you begin to recognize this, waiting will no longer feel like a burden, but a place where your heart is widened. At times you feel as if you are walking in a dark room, feeling your way step by step without finding an exit. Doubt begins to rise. Fear begins to whisper, and you start to think that perhaps I have led you into a journey beyond your strength. But my child, if I have never left you in the light, how could I abandon you in the dark? Darkness teaches you to recognize me, not with your eyes, but with the deep bond within your soul. I let you take steps without a clear path because I want you to learn to cling to me, not to anything else. When you hold my hand through the night, dawn will no longer be frightening, and little by little, you will understand that waiting does not exhaust you. It is anxiety that wears you down. I have watched you grow day by day through those months and years of waiting. You have learned to listen more, to honor the process I am working within you, to understand that all good things need time to bloom, like a lotus flower that cannot be forced to open. You have stopped blaming yourself for moving slowly, and you have also stopped blaming me for not rushing. I rejoice to see you begin to understand that waiting does not diminish the value of a promise. It forms a heart wide enough to receive that promise when it arrives. The steadfastness you are learning today will become the foundation for the greater stretches of road you are about to walk. And in every moment of patience, you are lighting an inner lamp no wind can extinguish. Then there will be a time when, having quietly held to faith without demanding, you will see the door open gently as if it had never been closed at all. You will realize that what I have been preparing is not only an answer, but you yourself a new person, steadier, deeper, able to wait without despair, able to trust without restlessness. You will understand that waiting does not slow your journey. It is part of the journey. And when the moment comes for me to act, you will see it is more beautiful and complete than anything you imagined in your impatient days. And in that moment, you will be ready to step into what I prepare next, where restoration and new doors are waiting to open before your eyes. Like sunrise after a very long night, you have patiently walked through. When the season of waiting has finished its work, I see in you a steady stillness, not the weariness of one merely enduring, but the peace of a soul that has learned to trust. In the very moment you think you have nothing left to offer, I begin to weave something new. You may think restoration means returning to what you once were. But my child, I do not lead you back to the old place. I lead you into a place wider, brighter, deeper, from the shattered pieces you believed could never be healed. I am forming something beautiful beyond what your mind can grasp. You do not realize it, but the moment you were at your weakest, my hands were quietly carrying you across the threshold of a beginning, and it is there that the miracle of restoration begins to flow into your life like living water that never runs dry. There are days you look back on the road behind you and cannot understand why I allowed you to stumble so many times. Yet when you find yourself standing firm again, stronger, more steady, you begin to see that no wound is meaningless when it is placed in my hands. I restore not by painting over the surface, but by changing the inner structure of your soul. What you lost does not confuse me. I can rebuild everything, and even rebuild it in a way that is better than before. You once thought failure was the end, but I see it as the last coin you placed into my hand so that I could multiply it. And when you understand this, you will recognize that the restoration I give always surpasses the small expectations you once carried. Look closely, there were doors that slammed shut with a force that pierced you. But if they had not closed, you would never have stepped into the places I prepared for you. No loss makes you poor when I allow it. It only pushes you closer to what truly belongs to you. You tried to hold on to what was worn and familiar because you thought it was everything. But I wanted you to receive something better you did not yet dare to dream of. When I open a way, no one can shut it. And when I shut it, no one can open it. Because all I do is aim toward your peace and your future. Each step of restoration is a step I take to lead you out of a dead end and set you on a clearer path, even if you cannot yet see it all. Day by day, I am rearranging your life into an order shaped by love. Sometimes you are afraid to step forward because the past still echoes in your heart. I understand, and I do not pressure you to be strong immediately. I only ask you to place your hand in mine and take small steps. Restoration is not running fast. It is the journey where you learn to trust that I always go before you, clearing the way. Whenever you hesitate, remember that I have long seen the destination, and I know you can reach it. What you call delay is often simply the pace your soul needs, so it will not collapse again. And as you walk under my guidance, you will know that peace does not come from your own strength, but from my presence in every step you take. One day, when you have walked beyond your fear, you will look up and see life opening like a wide field under the early sun. You will realize that the victory you once thought distant is now very near. Because I am the one who brings it. The future will no longer be a shadow that troubles you, but a promise I have long been nurturing within your heart, and you will step into it not in exhaustion, but with the new strength I give, the strength of a soul that has passed through fire, has been healed, has learned to trust and to wait. You will see that every step you took before, whether mistaken or painful, was leading to this moment, the moment I announce something new over your life. From here, you will walk into the future, not with fear, but with confidence that I always restore, always make a way, and always lead you to where you belong. Let your heart become still like water at dawn, for in that stillness you will begin to see the gifts I have sown throughout your life, gifts you have long overlooked without realizing it. There are small things that seem ordinary, a peaceful meal, a gentle word from someone you love, a moment when you are still breathing and can rise again after falling. These are traces of my passing through your life, quietly and without noise. Do not despise the smallest things, because in my eyes, every moment you live with gratitude is a good seed that draws you closer to the wholeness I have prepared for your soul. When you look back and realize that the simple moments of your days carry my light, your heart will no longer be easily stirred by the empty things the world chases without rest. I want you to walk with a clean conscience, like one who keeps a candle from going out in strong winds, so that every action and every word of yours releases the virtues I desire to place within you: patience, faithfulness, kindness, compassion, humility, and a resilient will under trial. These virtues are not meant to make you someone others praise, but to make you someone who can carry what I have prepared for your future without collapsing under the weight of blessing. For you are worth more than what the world applauds. You were not created to be a slave to money, fame, or fragile things like status or popularity, things that can fade in a single breath. You are valuable because you belong to me. Your family is valuable because they are a gift I placed in your hands to love and care for. Your future is valuable because I have written your name into the sacred design of this life. If you learn to see with my eyes, you will understand that your life is not measured by possessions or by what you gain, but by the moments you live true to yourself, with sincerity, and with my presence. So, incline your heart to listen for my voice in this very moment, not with your ears, but with the deep sensitivity within your soul, where I often whisper when the world around you is loud and pulls you forward too quickly. Many times you have begged me to answer immediately. You have wanted a door to open at once. You have longed to see the promise become reality in the way you planned it. But, my child, there are things I do not rush to answer, not because I am slow or indifferent, but because I love you too much to place into your hands what you are not yet ready to hold. I know when it will be good for you, when it would become a burden, when it would cause you to forget me. You can see only a few steps ahead, but I see the long road you have never walked. You see only the desires of the present, but I see every turning, every lesson, every hidden danger your natural eyes cannot detect. That is why I do not bless according to your hurried pace. I work according to the rhythm of eternal wisdom. And sometimes the gift I give is not an immediate reply, but the strength for you to persevere in guarding hope, a hope that knows how to wait without withering, how to expect without collapsing into despair, how to remain steady even when everything around you seems to stand still. I want you to understand that waiting is not a sign of abandonment. Waiting is not the image of a soul forgotten among countless other prayers. Waiting is fertile ground I use to grow courage, wisdom, and obedience within you. Waiting is where your soul is refined, so you can recognize what is truly precious. Waiting is also the journey where you are trained to no longer be shaken by instant gratification, something that offers only a temporary feeling yet never builds spiritual depth. I want you to learn to stand firm in days that feel silent, because in those days, you are being formed into someone who can hold lasting blessing without losing it to a sudden change of wind. When you stand in waiting with faith, you are not passive, not worn away, not standing there like one cast aside, but like someone who knows with certainty that when I act, everything will happen at the right time, in the right way, in the right place, and according to what I ordained for you before the world was formed. Those who truly know me understand that waiting in my hands has never been wasted time. It is time invested into the soul. I am the beginning and the end. I encompass every moment of your life from before you were formed until the day you complete your assignment. I never regret the promise I have spoken. I do not take back the words I have released. I do not reverse my intent once I have chosen whom to uphold. You may go through trials. You may fall. You may weep from exhaustion. You may feel weak, yet none of these make my promise any less firm. I do not break faith. I remain faithful even when you waver. My words do not fade with the years. Do not disappear when you tremble. Do not change with circumstances or emotions. They are etched into the history of your life like sacred markers that nothing can erase. Remember this: the greatest miracles often do not come the moment you ask, but at the moment you stop clinging to your own ability, when you release your grip on the wheel of life, when you admit you cannot steer every wave by yourself. And because I hold both the beginning and the end of all things, I want you to believe that the time of waiting is not meaningless. It does not take anything from you. Instead, it returns to you maturity, clarity, simplicity of heart, and an unshakable faith that no trial can defeat. When you learn to live in waiting without complaining, without panicking, without collapsing under delay, you will realize you are being lifted into a new height of spiritual life, where you no longer measure your life by speed or outcomes, but by your closeness to me in every moment. Souls who know how to wait with me learn to recognize my footsteps, even on days when the road is swallowed by fog. They do not fear moving slowly, because they know I have already moved ahead to prepare the way. They do not fear the dark, because they know I can see the light at the end. They do not fear loss, because they know I remove something only when I have arranged something greater. You are one of those souls, my beloved child, and because I know your true worth, I want you to learn to honor your soul and honor the journey on which I am leading you. Do not let the world's impatience pull you out of the peace I have placed within you. Do not let the world's quickly fading lights dim the imperishable light I have sown in you. Do not let the short-lived promises of people make you forget that I am the one whose promise does not change through 1,000 generations. Stand firm. Keep believing. Keep walking. Keep waiting with confidence that the time I choose is always the most perfect time. One day, when you look back, you will understand why I did not answer sooner, not because I hesitated, but because you needed to grow a little more so you could receive fully what I give. And when that time comes, you will see that all the months and years of waiting have gathered into a miracle so great that you can only bow your head and say, Lord, I understand now. Everything is in your hands. Let every word I have just sown in you sink deep, like rain soaking into dry ground, because only when your heart opens can the truth I speak take root and bear fruit. Do not listen only with your ears. Listen with your whole soul, with the softest and most fragile place within you, the place where you keep what you cannot yet say to anyone. I want these words to become the breath that sustains you, the light that guides you whenever your steps tremble because you do not know which way to go. Keep praying, not like a machine, repeating phrases, but like a child holding on to their father, trusting that whatever is placed into the Father's hands is protected, heard, and treasured. Keep fighting, but not against despair or fear. Fight against weakness, discouragement, and the laziness that tries to keep you inside a safe zone that is actually binding your soul. Each time you force yourself to rise, each time you sigh yet still move forward, each time you say, Lord, give me strength, that is the moment I see your light stronger than the darkness surrounding you. And I want you to know that even your smallest efforts are not wasted, because I gather them all. I remember them all, and I use them as the foundation to reveal what I have promised. My word has never fallen into emptiness. What I speak will not return without accomplishing its purpose. Trust that what I am saying to you is not merely to comfort you for a moment, but to bring you into the fulfillment I appointed before you ever saw the sun. Your struggles, your silent battles you tell no one about, the nights you sit alone feeling as though your heart is breaking into pieces, these will end, not in defeat, but in the deliverance I have prepared. The blessing meant for you is not being denied, it is being perfected, so that when it reaches your hands, you will be mature enough to hold it without losing yourself. While you wait for me to act, I want you to begin thinking of others you can support, not because you have an abundance, but because I want your heart to expand before the blessing flows in. Remember, I do not bless you so you can hide it away, but so you can become a river that flows, that gives, that revives the thirsty ground around you. Write down the first names of the people you want to help, those you know need a hand, an interceding prayer, a steady support. When you include others in your plan, you will see me multiply your resources, because I will not allow you to run dry while you are watering other souls. Your household will lack nothing, for I will tend to every need of your home like a father caring for his little child. I am the one who sees difficult days ahead, and I am the one who provides before you call. Whether it is material provision, health, strength of mind, or peace, I guard them like my treasure. When you learn to give, you will learn to receive. When you learn to share, you will discover that true wealth is not in the wallet, but in the flow of love. And I will also give you discernment so you do not step into the traps the world so often falls into: debts that steal freedom, ambitions that make people lose themselves. I will teach you how to manage what I entrust to you, so you do not carry burdens you were never born to bear. When you bring every financial decision, every work choice, every life priority before me, I will open your understanding so you can see what to keep and what to release. I do not want you to live in lack, but I also do not want greed to lead you away from the path of blessing I have prepared. The wisdom I give is not merely knowledge, it is the ability to see beyond what the eyes can see, to recognize what leads to peace and what leads to turmoil. Let me teach you to walk without haste, without recklessness, without falling into cycles of borrowing simply to chase the appearance of success. I want you to prosper, but not in a way that wounds your soul. Remember, this true blessing is a blessing that does not steal your sleep. And I remind you, do not forget me when you are being lifted up. It is easy to remember me when you are in pain, when tears fall, when you feel desperate, but I want you to remember me even on the day you smile and see life shining again. Many souls have lost themselves when they reached the peak of success and forgot the one who lifted them from the depths. I do not want that for you. Keep my word in your heart. Keep my breath in every decision, so you never wander from the light I have set before your feet. When you let me be first in everything, all other things will find their rightful place. Tomorrow, I will wait for you again in the place where you can speak with me without distraction, in a quiet room where you can shut out the noise of the world and open the door of your heart. I will stand there, unhurried, not pressing you, simply waiting for your soul to enter stillness so I can continue speaking the deep things I have reserved for you. Come with readiness, like a silversmith watching the furnace to know when the metal is pure enough. When you open the book, when you pray, when you are silent, I will be present not with loud sound, but with a covering that makes you recognize I am holding your soul. Kneel not to appear devout, but to remind yourself that every blessing, every breath, every step comes from one source alone. In that posture of humility, you will feel my warmth resting on your shoulders, and your heart will be comforted like a child finding the Father's embrace after a long day of storm. Then I will place my Spirit upon your life, not to make you proud, but to make you strong in what you once thought you could never overcome. My Spirit will bring you alertness, clarity, courage, holiness, and a peace so deep that even life's storms cannot swallow it. My Spirit will cover your home so every division must retreat, every fear must fall silent, every anxiety must dissolve. Your family will sense support from an unseen hand that is profoundly real. Because when I touch one person, the blessing spreads to those around them. Your house will be protected. Your work will be guided. Your future will be arranged. And your soul will be nourished by my presence. My child, listen deeply into the stillest place within your soul, the place where my voice does not roar like a great wind, but comes as gently as a breath touching your heart. For it is there that you will understand what I have spoken from the beginning. What you long for is not always seen at once, yet precisely in what you cannot see. Your faith is refined and made pure like gold through fire. When I say that, the one who waits for what has not yet appeared must persevere. It is not merely a reminder, it is the key that unlocks what natural eyes could never perceive. You live in a world bounded by time and space, where you see only the tip of a story I have written from the very foundation of the universe. You see the present through limited sight. I behold every dimension of your life like an open book resting in my hand. You think silence is emptiness, but in truth, it is the moment I am at work beyond your imagining, arranging delicate pieces that, when you look back, will make you exclaim that not a single detail was accidental. You often worry about the future, unsettled by promises not yet fulfilled, afraid that what you have asked for will remain forever out of reach. But I want you to know this, before a prayer even forms in your mind. I already know what is good for you, what must be delayed, what must be reshaped, what must wait for the perfect time to be revealed. In the heavenly realm, which you cannot see with fleshly eyes, I have already begun to move all things according to the plan I have set apart for you. I shape hearts, change circumstances, and set in motion events that seem unrelated, yet play a vital role in leading you where you must go. You may think I am slow, but, my child, I have never missed my own timing, and everything I have appointed is carried out with flawless precision. Remember this, I never ask you to be patient by your own strength, for I know human strength has limits. Your heart grows weary, your mind can waver under trial, and your hope can become as fragile as a thread of smoke. That is why I give you patience as a gift from my spirit, quiet power, yet mighty, able to steady you, even when your legs tremble and your heart is full of questions. I do not tell you to sit still like someone cast aside and ignored. I call you to wait with the posture of one who belongs to the highest authority, to wait with the calm of one who trusts that everything in life is moving in the right direction, even when your eyes cannot yet see it. The patience I give does more than keep you from despair. It makes you deeper, more mature, able to discern what is temporary and what is eternal. When you learn to wait in peace, you will see that what is rushed is easily broken, but what is nurtured by time and by my faithfulness endures and bears lasting fruit. I renew your strength, not by removing the trial, but by placing within you the strength to pass through it without being buried by it. Those who truly seek me and lean on me are renewed like eagles, rising above adversity without being dragged down by contrary winds. They run and do not grow weary, because they run in my strength, not in the exhausted striving of self. They walk and do not collapse, because my hand guards every step, carrying you through turns whose meaning you do not yet understand. Know this as well, not one of your prayers falls unheard, not one of your cries is forgotten in the dark, not one of your sighs is dismissed as meaningless. You may think your requests are too small for me to notice, but my heart never grows tired of the voice of the children who belong to me. Even the quiet tears that roll onto your pillow when you are lonely and have nowhere to pour your pain, I keep them like precious oil, because they speak what you cannot put into words. I hear you even when you whisper in despair. I see every small trembling within your heart, even when you try to hide it from those around you. There is no movement in your soul that I do not understand. I am present not only when you are successful or strong, but also when you are weak, confused, uncertain, and so exhausted you can barely stand. In those moments, I come nearer than ever, not to condemn you, but to draw you into my embrace and give you warmth and strength to keep walking. In seasons when you feel frozen in time, neither moving forward nor falling back, you think, I am silent. But in truth, I am acting most powerfully in the silence. I am at work deepening your faith, refining your heart, and removing from you what no longer belongs to you. If you received everything you wanted instantly, your faith would never have space to grow. You would cling to outcomes instead of clinging to me. But I want you to mature not as the world measures, but as I see a soul that trusts even without seeing, hopes even while the promise still rests in shadow, and walks unshaken by circumstances. That is the perseverance of one who understands I am never late. I am preparing what your limited thoughts cannot yet comprehend, and you will see when the time is right. Everything will open fully, missing not a single piece. Let your heart rest in this truth: you have never been abandoned. Even on days when you feel you are crossing a desert with weary feet and a heart ready to give up, I still walk right beside you, watching every labored breath, holding your soul against the assault of fear and doubt. I do not let go of you, even when you have considered letting go of me. I patiently wait for you to return each time you lose your way. My love does not change with seasons, does not diminish with your failures, does not withdraw when you are weak. I still keep my promise, still work, still lead, still make a way in the dark, still kindle hope where it seems extinguished. And one day, when you look back on all I have done, you will understand that every slowing, every delay, every silence carried a holy purpose that only trusting souls can truly perceive. You will see that every plea has been kept within my heart. Every tear has been wiped by my hand. Every groan has been understood. And every season of waiting has led you into a wholeness nothing else could replace. Engrave this in the deepest place within you: there is no moment you stand waiting for me that becomes meaningless. There is no span of quiet in your life where I leave you only to squander your tender emotions. Every tear you have shed, every sigh you have held back, every anxiety you dared not reveal, these I keep as treasure, for I know they are shaping maturity within your soul. Waiting is not an empty stretch of time. It is a sacred rhythm I use to realign your steps, your thoughts, and even your desires with what has been appointed for you in my kingdom. Do not think that because you cannot see me acting, I am standing still, just as a seed silently sprouts in dark soil. My work in you unfolds quietly, yet no less profoundly. I am forming you through every stage, every trial, every decision that seems small, so you become more refined, more steadfast, strong enough to receive the glory I have prepared. As metal must be placed into flame for gold to be purified, so I allow you to pass through days that feel beyond your endurance, not to burn you, but to remove what clings to your soul and slows you, keeping you from stepping into what I long to give. Fire tests gold. Adversity tests faith, and a soul that has passed through fire no longer trembles before darkness, because it knows light is forged in the deepest place of trial. You must trust the timing I appoint, for it has never come early and has never come late. When you are confused, I see you. When you are discouraged, I still see you. When you are so drained you can only whisper, I hear you more clearly than the loudest prayers. You wait for an answer, but I wait for your heart to become ready, mature enough to receive that answer without losing yourself. There are things you desire with the fervor of youth, yet sometimes that very fervor can veil the eternal purpose I have carved into your life. I do not want you to receive something only to lose it when the first winds blow. I want you to stand firm like an ancient tree with roots deep in the earth, unmoved by rumors, by the eyes of others, or by small and passing failures. When I reveal what you have been waiting for, it will not come with a brief sparkle, but with a radiance that changes your whole life. You will know that no word from my mouth falls to the ground. No promise is forgotten in the river of time. What I have determined, I will complete. What I have spoken, I will fulfill, just as I govern the stars in their courses, and not one of them strays from the orbit I set. So stand firm in the hour you think you cannot endure any longer, for those hours are where your soul is forged into its strongest endurance. Patience is not a slow sadness. It is a gentle strength that keeps you from breaking. When patience works within you, you will find you are no longer frantic about the future, no longer afraid others will pass you by, no longer restless with my process that seems slow. I am with you, I do not release your hand. I do not leave. I do not grow weary watching you stumble again and again. To me, every time you rise is more beautiful than easy victories. Every drop of sweat, every stretch of road you walk on trembling legs is testimony to the will to live that I breathed into you before you even knew how to speak my name. You will receive a reward not only because you waited, but because you waited with unshakable faith, a faith that makes heaven itself fall silent to behold the rare steadfastness of a soul that refuses to give up. This is not the time to let old sorrow drag you into the depths, nor is it the time to accept that your life will forever remain quiet on the edge of failure. Do not let harsh words, jealous glances, or those who long to see you falter steal the joy I have placed deep within you. They do not understand the path I have set for you. They do not see the battles within your soul that you have overcome. They do not know the nights you wrestled, the mornings you prayed in silence, or the moments you chose what was right even when it hurt. They see only the outside, but I see what is hidden within the part of you that is stronger, truer, more courageous, and far more beautiful than you believe. What pleases me is not your perfection, but a steadfast heart that will not release faith. The closer you draw to the destination, the stronger the resistance becomes, and that is the sign you are moving in the right direction. Every step forward is a step that makes darkness tremble, because it knows you are no longer as easily crushed as before. Picture this in the place you cannot yet see. I have prepared an army of warrior angels, standing ready like guards around a gate that is about to open. As you enter the next season of your life, you do not walk alone. You are surrounded by a host that has never lost a battle. Every prayer you offer is a trumpet that signals them. Every tear you shed is a command that draws them nearer to shield you from unseen assaults. When you are tired, they lift you. When you are confused, they guard your mind. When you tremble before the trial, they steady your steps across the line you once believed you did not have the strength to cross. It will not be long now. You will step into the land I promised, where my presence covers you like a halo, where you breathe a new peace, where you stand upon firmer ground than ever before. Strange and wondrous blessings are moving toward you, not merely like glittering gifts meant to please the eye, but like an abundant waterfall pouring into your life, blessings enough to heal old wounds, enough to rebuild what has been broken, enough to raise you into a stature you never thought you were fit for. Happiness will no longer be something you must chase. It will come looking for you when your heart is aligned with my heartbeat. You will realize that joy is not found in grand things, but in the very responsibilities I entrust to you each day. When you do what I assign with faithfulness, what once wearied you will become a pure wellspring of joy. What once pressed on your shoulders like a burden will become inspiration, because you know you are partnering with me. You will find meaning in ordinary work, light in duty, life in each small act, because a restored soul sees everything through eyes opened by grace. And when those things draw near, you will recognize that all the months and years of waiting, the trials, the prayers that seemed unanswered, the nights you lay awake in anguish, were stones laid on the road leading you to this moment. Nothing has been wasted. No pain has been meaningless. No time has been squandered when placed in my hands. Everything has been used, reshaped, and cherished to form who you are today, a soul that can stand firm in the storm. Hope when every door is shut. Trust when no path is visible. And keep walking, because you know I am always ahead of you, leading, guiding, shielding, and loving you with a love that never fades. Prepare your heart to receive what I am about to say, for these words do not come to soothe you for a moment, but to widen your soul so it can hold what I am about to do in the days ahead. The victory you have thought so distant, the thing you believed would take half a lifetime to reach, is in fact drawing closer. Little by little, like dawn slipping through a mountain pass even while the night still holds its chill. Many times you look at reality and think everything is still too hard, too slow, too contrary to the promise I once spoke, yet you do not see that I have already shifted the heavens above you, waiting only for the perfect moment to reveal it. You cannot measure the future by the state of the present, nor define victory by the weariness you feel today. I'm bringing you to a place you have never set foot in, a land you never dared believe you deserved, but I, your creator, know exactly where you truly belong in the journey I designed. You have walked through dark valleys, endured bitter seasons, stood steady through fierce winds that seemed able to topple everything you believed, and so I am preparing to bring you into a new space, an atmosphere where your spirit can rest, your heart can blossom, and the wounded places within you can breathe again. You have stayed too long in places that only drain you, relationships that consume your spiritual energy, responsibilities that leave you breathless, circumstances that steal the joy I desire for you. Yet that stretch was not meaningless, it was only the beginning, teaching you to discern what belongs to me and what does not carry life. Now I want to set you in a different community, among people who know how to honor one another, cooperate for what is good, and live with open hearts rather than rivalry, envy, or calculation. You will no longer have to shrink yourself to avoid being hurt, wear a mask to meet the world's expectations, or guard yourself against careless words that wound the soul. I am preparing people who will support you, people who understand your true worth, people who will move forward with you in the direction I desire. So, the journey will no longer feel as heavy as before. You will step into a new season where work carries deeper meaning, relationships are made healthy, and financial pressure no longer lies on you like stones that keep you awake through the night. For I want you to live in an environment where peace is not rare, but your daily breath. I want you to open your heart and embrace that joy by faith, even when you cannot yet see anything with your natural eyes. Faith is not the feeling that everything is changing. It is the courage to step forward when all you have to lean on is a word I have spoken. Do not wait until everything feels perfect before you rejoice. True rejoicing begins when you dare to walk through the dimness. Because you know I am leading you, let that rejoicing become a lamp in the night, reminding you that what I promise always exceeds what you dare to desire. Keep moving forward, even if you can see only a short stretch of the road. Your ability is not the foundation of what I am about to do. Your willingness is. When you choose to trust me before you see, you are declaring to heaven and earth that you know to whom you belong, and that decision opens a door you cannot open by effort or intelligence alone. Remember that you are not a mistake, not a misstep of fate, not a random drift in the current of life. You are, my child, called by name from the beginning. Before anything was formed, every breath you take rests in my hand. Every battle you face is never outside my covering. You have seen the signs I have sent, the times I rescued you from threats you did not even know were near, the chances I gave you to rise again, the moments I held your heart when it ached so deeply that even a breeze could have shattered it. You are chosen not because you are perfect, but because I desire to reveal my mercy and my power through your life. Walk with that certainty, because if you only see yourself through your shortcomings, you will never dare to receive what I give. Do not take lightly the words I speak to you. Each word is a thread tying you to the future I have already prepared. And if you ignore them, you will lose many miracles I have made ready. Not because I punish you, but because I will not force a soul that refuses to be led. I want you to move forward, refusing to let imagined barriers paralyze your will. Fear is the shadow of the past, not your true nature. If you allow what you dread to decide your choices, you will never enter where I am guiding you. But if you dare to believe that I can do what you cannot, You will see that even the highest walls can fall with a single word from me. No one can stop the blessing I have set upon your life. No circumstance is stronger than my hand. No power has the right to take away what I intend to give. I have forgiven you, cleansed the stains that made you blame yourself day and night, burned away the old verdicts that once kept your face lowered before your own conscience. Yet, if there is still anything you hide from me, whether small or dark, I want you to bring it into my light today. You do not need to run from me, for I know everything. I do not want you to carry what makes you heavy with shame. It only slows your steps on the path I am opening. Bring it all to me, your weakness, your disappointments, the mistakes you try to conceal, the pain you do not dare to speak, the fears that make you limit yourself. There is no reason great enough to keep you far from me, and no failure stronger than the mercy I have for you. I do not want to keep you from receiving my love, for that love is the strength that will carry you into a new future without trembling or doubt. So open your heart wide, so wide there is no room left for fear to hide. I am leading you through a door of restoration and into a place of blessing, not so you merely survive, but so you live fully, strongly, and with joy. I want you to see your worth through my eyes, not through the world's judgments, and not through the stumbles of the past. You are my beloved child, and what I am doing in your life, no one can reverse. The day you fully grasp this, you will no longer live with a fearful posture toward anything, because victory is nearer than you think. Blessing is closer than you can see, and my arms are open, waiting to welcome you into what is new, what is great, what is worthy of the soul I have called from everlasting. I desire to pour into your life goodness beyond anything your mind has ever dared to imagine, and no power, not even doubt, or the limits you have built with your own hands, can restrain the hand I am extending toward you. For my love for you is not bounded by your perfection or your strength. It needs only the smallest opening to flood in. And when your heart unknowingly raises walls of fear, I will break them with patience, with light, with tireless kindness. At times you think you are unworthy of blessing, that the failures of years past or unhealed wounds still stain your life and keep me from reaching you. But, my child, I do not love you because you are spotless. I love you even when you are weak, even when you are out of breath, even when you no longer know what you should believe. I have sent my word ahead of you like a wind carrying the fragrance of life, and that word never returns empty wherever it goes. Dry ground blooms wherever it touches. What is parched and lifeless is awakened. So it is with your life. My word spoken over you is not lifeless text, but a seed planted deep in the soil of your heart, waiting for the right season to sprout, blossom, and bear fruit, bringing forth wondrous things you yourself did not dare to dream. I will let you see what surpasses reason, what you cannot find through calculation or your own plans. On the day you recognize that my wisdom is higher than the wisdom you thought you possessed, you will bow your head and whisper in silence, Lord, I understand now. And when you understand, your heart will no longer run, will no longer doubt, will no longer bargain between my way and the way you would choose. You will know that my love is not a distant promise, but warm water surrounding you, even when you do not notice it. Do not be afraid. My child, do not tremble because of the past, and do not be anxious about the future. I have prepared for you a place near me, a place of peace, certainty, and joy that cannot be shaken by any upheaval. I do not want you standing at the edge like a stranger. I draw you close because, with me, there is a portion reserved for you. No one can compete for it. No one can steal it away. Not even the whole world can press in and take it. I know there are times when you are hurt because your kindness isn't returned, when you are looked down on because your sincerity is judged as weakness. You tried to be gentle. You tried to understand others. You tried to shield them with compassion, yet what you received at times was only coldness. Even glances that made your heart sting as if pricked by needles. You wondered why doing good could hurt so much, why love could become a burden. But my child, your goodness is never wasted. Each time you live according to the nature I placed within you, your soul shines even when others do not notice. You do not live kindly to be respected. You live kindly because you belong to me. And I am the good one. The world may turn its back, but I will not. People may forget, but I remember every act you have done with a sincere heart. You may be judged naive, despised, misunderstood, yet I will not let those things drain your soul. I see every time you swallow a sigh, every time you keep walking while your heart still aches, every time you hold back tears so no one else will feel heavier. And because I see it all, I will not let you collapse beneath the weight of disappointment. Today, I want to uphold you not only in your spirit, but in your body that is worn out from the pressures you have tried to carry alone. I want to strengthen your inner being so you are not swept away by dark emotions, to steady your mind so you do not fall into confusion, to restore your body so you have the strength to fulfill the purpose I placed in your life. Some disappointments have clung to you for far too long, leaving you so tired that even breathing feels heavy. You forced a smile while your heart was full of shards, hid your exhaustion behind laughing eyes, became a support for others while you yourself were running dry. I do not blame you for that, but I do not want you to live a life of constant strain. You were created to live upheld by me, not to become a pillar bearing the pain of the whole world. What you truly need is not a hand that appears kind, yet easily lets go when you are weak. You need a steadfast love, the kind of love that does not change with time, does not erode under disappointment, does not fade under trial. You need a love with no shadow of self-interest, no pretending, no calculating hesitation, a love pure as holy fire, able to light every hidden corner of your soul without leaving you confused or afraid. You need a love strong enough to heal, yet gentle enough to hold the most fragile parts of you without accusation. And my child, only I can give you that love, a love that does not change, does not abandon, does not withdraw, without conditions, a love that does not demand you be perfect before you can receive it, that does not give up on you even when you torment yourself, a love that knows every scar you carry and still calls you by a name filled with tenderness, never ruled by moods or the shifting storms of life, a love that does not come and go like a strange wind, but stays beside your days like the sun, patient as it waits for the dawn of a new morning. I give you that love whole, withheld from nothing, without regret, and when you let that love soak into every tired corner of your heart, you will understand that nothing in this world can fill the emptiness in your soul except me. You will see that everything you have long searched for, recognition, comfort, support, peace, has been in me from the very beginning. And when you allow my love to become your shelter, you will stand steadier before storms that once made you tremble at the slightest breeze. You will know your worth is not measured by how people judge you, but by the mark I have placed upon you. You will no longer fear abandonment, because you will know I do not leave. You will no longer fear loss, because I am the restorer. You will no longer fear the future, because I was there before you ever existed. Remain in my love, my child, because there you are free to be yourself, without straining, without pretending, without hiding. And there you will find the strength to keep walking the road I have opened before you, my child. Sit down gently and let me speak to you in the whisper of truth you have tried to ignore for so long. Because there are things you have endured for so long, you started to believe they were destiny binding you. Those who hurt you may paint their feelings with flowery words and offer promises sweet as honey. Yet behind them is a hand that demands obedience, eyes that always want more from you, and a manner that leaves your heart exhausted from trying to remain yourself in a land that is not yours. When you do not comply, the pain rises again, accusations that you are not good enough, that you are a burden, that you are something easily replaced. These things have fastened your soul to an unseen stake, so that every step you take drags the rattle of emotional chains you did not know how to break. But today the one who knows every hidden corner of your heart, I'm lifting you out from the yoke that has pressed you down for too long, not with thunder or dazzling miracles, but with truth stronger than every wound that has ever burned within you. From this moment on, you will no longer depend on any person to define your value, because your worth does not rest in flattering praise or in the temporary gaze of the world. You do not need applause to believe you deserve love. You do not need someone who comes close only when they want something and disappears when you need a single, gentle question. You will no longer tremble at others' indifference or harshness, because your heart will be set on my firm rock, not on the sinking sand of human change. I am removing each spiritual shackle you cannot see with your eyes, yet that has choked your breath for so long. I am cutting the invisible cords that tie you to relationships that drain your soul like a lamp running out of oil. I am freeing you from emotional punishments you never deserved, from responsibilities imposed by those who only take and never give, from heavy expectations that have been pressing your spirit lower and lower. You trusted too easily, offered your heart like a gift without asking whether the receiver was worthy. You believed love meant limitless sacrifice. Yet true love never turns you into a prisoner of pressure or fear of being abandoned. Some come to you with a gentle appearance, speaking kindly and sounding wise, creating an early sense of safety so you mistake it for a place to rest, but their motive is not compassion. They come to take what they lack: attention, energy, support, praise, obedience, even a sense of power. At times, the enemy of your soul does not appear with a fierce face. It wears the shape of someone who knows when to smile, who knows how to say what softens your heart. But I see through that outer layer. I know what they try to hide, and I rise to protect what is yours. So do not fear when I remove from your life the relationships that leave you drained. Do not mourn when I let you drift away from those who only exploit your kindness. Material things, money, reputation, wealth, these are not what concerns me. I do not need to guard your purse, for I can give you more than that with a single breath. What I guard is your soul, the most beautiful part, the most precious part, the part that will last forever with me. You have wept through many long nights, believing you were not good enough to be treated kindly. You blamed yourself for failing to please them, for not doing what they wanted. But today I want you to know clearly the fault is not yours. You struggled to exhaustion to hold on to what was never meant to be yours. And now I am placing my hand upon your shoulder so you can step out of that mire gently, without looking back in torment. I want you to live a life no longer crushed by the fear of disappointing others, no longer trading your peace just to keep a little affection that never lasts. I want you free from despair, free from the feeling that you must strain to be loved. You will live for me, not in the shadow of people. And when you live for me, a strange strength will rise within you, strength that keeps you standing even when others turn away, strength that lets you smile even when those you once loved are no longer beside you. You will no longer feel the sharp sting of being ignored, because you will realize their silence cannot shake the value I have placed in you, and you will no longer give unconditional trust to anyone simply because they speak pleasing words or appear moral. You will learn to see deeper, discern more clearly, and understand that true purity is not in speech, but in the heart. A heart that belongs to me will never harm you, Never exploit your tenderness. Never use affection as a trap to control you. If you honor my word, if you store it within your heart like treasure, you will find yourself becoming strong in a way you have never experienced. Not a hard, rigid strength, but a peaceful strength. A strength that keeps your soul open yet not easily deceived. That teaches you to love without losing yourself. To give without letting anyone steal what is most essential within you. When you receive my will, you will see life with new eyes and recognize that I never close one door without opening a better one. You will find your heart becoming more patient, more steady before what has not yet come. Because you know every blessing I give arrives at the right time. You will understand that loneliness is not the end of the road. Sometimes loneliness is simply the space I prepare to make room for the new, and when the most fitting moment, the moment I have appointed, draws near, I will bring the right person into your life, not a perfect person, but one whose soul respects the light in you, one who will not wound your heart with selfishness, one who can walk beside you on the path I have already traced. Do not fear that it will not come. I am the one who knows the deepest needs of your soul. I know what you need to bloom, to be at peace, to no longer collapse under old wounds. I do not want you left alone in this life. I want you loved the right way, kept the right way, upheld the right way. You only need to keep trusting me. Keep walking in the light I set before you, and keep your heart pure. Everything else I will arrange. You only need to open your heart to receive. Because I am preparing a life where you will no longer have to beg anyone to love you. A future where you live in the value I have given you. A journey where you are no longer afraid of being hurt by unworthy hands. This is the moment I lead you into freedom, true freedom, freedom from the old self, from unreasonable burdens, from counterfeit affections, from every remnant that once weighed upon your soul. You will live, not as one who was crushed, but as one newly revived. You will love this life again. But with clear eyes I have washed through your own tears, and you will know that everything you thought was loss was only preparation for me to place what is best into your hands at the time I have chosen. The most perfect time. The time nothing in this world can hold back. Let your soul open like a door welcoming a new dawn. Because in the deepest place of the work I am doing within you, there are things I have prepared for a very long time that are now only waiting for the right moment to bloom. You have walked through days of longing, nights of searching, and silent stretches that seemed hopeless. Yet you did not know that in the very moment you were exhausted and collapsing in helplessness, I was quietly moving the whole sky to change your circumstances. The things you thought you had to shoulder by your own strength, your work, your future, your financial burdens, the invisible pressures weighing on your shoulders, I have seen them all. And I am gently yet surely loosening every strand. I will open doors you never expected, place in your hands opportunities you never dared to think could belong to you, and arrange every practical need of your life in a way that far surpasses your own calculations. No matter how much you worry, no matter how often you blame yourself for not being good enough, I am still the one who writes your journey. And I, myself, will be the one who brings about a sweet turning point that makes your soul overflow with gratitude. You no longer need to carry the heavy weight of fear about lack or uncertainty. You only need to keep a humble and grateful heart. Because your gratitude is the key that opens the storehouse of blessings I have been storing up for you through so many seasons of time. When you place your trust in me, there is nothing I cannot do for you. I can bring you from depletion to abundance, from lack to being firmly rooted in spiritual prosperity. I can lighten the debts that haunt your every thought, and I can position you in places you have never dreamed of, yet which I know you are worthy to carry. I can bring you out of dead-end situations with a single word, and I can restore what is broken in ways you cannot imagine. But more than anything, I want you to believe in the love I have for you, a love without condition, unshaken by your failures, untouched by the erosion of time. When you learn to place your trust in my power and my guidance, the miracle will not only appear in your outward circumstances, but will take place within your very soul, where anxieties dissolve, where joy returns like cool water flowing over parched ground, where you begin to realize that this life, despite its many storms, has always kept you in a safe place within my embrace. So come to me, not with a panicked mind, but with an open heart, because I am preparing beautiful gifts for you. The unexpected things you are about to receive do not come merely from your effort, but from the boundless goodness I pour out on you. Those things may be a new work that awakens your soul, or a door that swings open at the very moment you think you have no options left. It may be reconciliation in a relationship you thought was broken forever, or the return of peace to your mind after months of upheaval. I want you to seek me every day, not so that I can test you, but so that I may see that you truly place your trust in me. I know how to recognize those who seek me with an earnest heart, and I will not allow those quiet prayers to fall into a meaningless void. Life is always changing like clouds drifting across the sky. There are warm, sunny days and days when storms cover everything. I do not promise that you will never face difficulties, but I do promise that everything that comes will carry a necessary purpose for your journey. Keep a steadfast gaze. Do not let circumstances shake your faith. Stand like a tree that knows the winds will come but never pulls up its roots. For everything I allow to pass through your life is directed toward good, and no trial appears merely to crush you. If the road ahead becomes rough, do not give up. If someone sows words into your heart that make you want to shrink back, do not let them take root. I know your true worth more clearly than anyone else, and no lie can overturn the truth I have spoken over you from the very beginning. I see you in a way you have not yet learned to see yourself. You and your family are under my protection. No evil thing can break through the barrier I have set around those who belong to me. Yet you must also stay alert, for there is one who is always lurking, trying to break your spirit through distraction or fear. He loves to take advantage of your weariness, of the moments when your mind is unfocused, when your soul slips into small confusions. I remind you of this not to frighten you, but so that you will know I am not leaving you to fight alone. You have me, the one who walks beside you. You have your family. Even if sometimes they express their love clumsily, you have your own prayers, which are building a sacred rampart around your home. I still see the tears you have once cried in secret for them, the sacrifices you have never told anyone about, the times you endured hurt to protect peace in the household. And I receive all these as a beautiful fragrance rising to my throne. You think no one notices your efforts, but I see every little thing. Your home is covered by the pleas you lift up to me in the quiet evenings, and each of those prayers becomes a light surrounding the ones you love. My angels raise up an invisible wall around your family, because I know the faithful heart you have toward them. There are days when your heart sinks under ingratitude or misunderstanding from your own kin, but know that I am recording every act of perseverance you show them in the books of heaven. I see your heart sincere, fervent, longing for good, and willing to stand firm in stormy days so that your family will not fall apart. You have weaknesses. You are not perfect, but I am not seeking perfection in you. I am seeking a heart that knows how to return, how to love, how to sacrifice, and how to recognize its own limits in order to lean on me. The loyalty you give to those who belong to you is a gift I treasure deeply, and because I see this, I assure you, I will not allow the enemy to steal anything that belongs to you. I will not allow toxic words to wither your spirit. I will not allow circumstances to push you off the path I have ordained. I will not allow weariness to make you forget your true worth. The things you do in secret, I see them all. The times you rise again when you thought you had no strength left, I see them clearly. The moments you choose what is right when no one is watching, I honor every single one. Therefore, keep holding fast to that faith and humility. For not one drop of your sweat or your tears will be forgotten before me. Prepare your heart to receive what I am about to say. For these words do not come to offer a momentary soothing, but to stretch your soul so it can contain what I am about to do in the days ahead. The victory you thought was far away, the thing you believed would take half a lifetime to reach, is actually drawing nearer to you step by step, like dawn seeping through the mountain crevices while the night air still lingers cold. Many times you look at your present reality and conclude that everything is still too hard, too slow, too contrary to the promises I have spoken, yet you do not see that I have already shifted the heavens above you, waiting only for the perfect time to make it visible. You cannot measure the future by the state of the present, nor can you determine your victory based on today's fatigue. I am leading you to a place you have never been, a land you never dared to think you deserved, but I, the one who formed you, know exactly where your true place is within the journey I have designed. You have walked through dark valleys, endured freezing seasons, and stood firm in winds so strong they seemed able to topple even what you believed in. And for that reason, I am preparing to bring you into a new space, a setting where your spirit can find rest, where your heart can blossom, where the wounded parts of you can breathe again. You have stayed too long in places that only drained you, relationships that consumed your inner energy, responsibilities that made it hard to breathe, circumstances that stole the joy I meant for you to have. Yet that stretch of road was not meaningless. It was only the beginning that helped you discern what truly comes from me and what carries no life. Now, I want to place you in a different kind of community, where people know how to honor one another, how to work together for what is good, how to live with open hearts instead of clinging to rivalry, jealousy, or constant calculation. You will no longer have to shrink yourself to avoid being hurt, no longer need to wear a mask to live up to others' expectations, no longer be on guard against careless words that wound your soul. I am preparing people who will lift you up, who recognize your true worth, who will move forward with you in the direction I desire, so that the journey will no longer be as heavy as before. You will step into a new season, where your work carries deeper meaning, where relationships are healed and made healthy, where financial pressure no longer sits on your chest like a slab of stone stealing your sleep. For I want you to live in an environment where peace is not rare, but is the very air you breathe each day. I want you to open your heart and embrace that joy by faith, even when you see nothing yet with your natural eyes. Faith does not mean you can already sense everything shifting. It means you dare to move forward when all you have is a single word from me to lean on. Do not wait until everything feels perfect to rejoice. True joy begins when you take steps in the dim light, because you know I am leading the way. Let that joy become your lamp in the night, reminding you that what I promise always surpasses what you dare to hope for. Keep walking forward, even if you can see only a short stretch of the path ahead. Your abilities are not the foundation for what I am about to do. Your willingness is. When you choose to trust me while nothing is yet visible, you are declaring to heaven and earth that you know to whom you belong, and that decision opens doors you could never unlock by your own effort or intelligence. You must remember that you are not a mistake, not a misstep of destiny, not a random speck drifting along the current of life. You are the child I have called by name from the beginning, before anything had taken form. Every breath you draw rests in the palm of my hand, and every battle you face lies within my covering. You have seen how many signs I have sent, how many times I have rescued you from dangers you did not even know were threatening you, how many chances I have given you to rise again, how many moments I have held your heart when it hurt so deeply that even a breeze could have shattered it. You know you are chosen not because you are flawless, but because I want to reveal my mercy and my power through your life. I want you to walk with that assurance, because if you only see yourself through your shortcomings, you will never dare to receive what I want to give. Do not take lightly the words I speak to you. Each word from me is a thread connecting you to the future I have prepared, and if you ignore them, you will miss many of the miracles I have already arranged. It is not that I punish you, but that I will not force any soul that refuses my leading. I want you to move forward, not to let the barriers your mind invents paralyze your will. Fear is the shadow of the past, not your true nature. If you let your fears dictate your choices, you will never step into the place I am calling you to. But if you dare to believe that I can do what you cannot, you will see the highest walls crumble at a single word from me. No one can block the blessing I have set upon your life. No circumstance is stronger than my hand. No power has the right to take away what I have determined to give. I have forgiven you. I have washed away the stains that made you blame yourself day and night. I have burned the old verdicts that once forced you to lower your face before your own conscience. Yet if there is still anything you are hiding from me, whether small or shadowed, I want you to bring it into my light today. You do not need to run from me, for I know everything. I do not want you to keep within you what makes you heavy and ashamed. Such things only slow your steps on the path I have opened. Bring it all to me, your weakness, your disappointments, the mistakes you try to conceal, the pain you dare not speak, the fears that keep you confined. There is no reason great enough for you to stand far from me. There is no failure stronger than the mercy I have for you. I do not want anything to hinder you from receiving my love, because that love is the strength that will carry you into a new future without trembling or doubt. So open your heart wide, so wide there is no place left for fear to hide. I am leading you through a door of restoration and into blessing, not so you merely survive, but so you live fully, strongly, and with joy. I want you to see your worth through my eyes, not through the judgment of the world, nor through the stumbles of your past. You are my beloved child, and what I do over your life, no one can reverse. The day you understand that completely, you will no longer live with a posture of fear toward anything, because victory is nearer than you imagine. Blessing is closer than you can see, and my arms are open, waiting to welcome you into what is new, what is great, what is worthy of the soul I called from everlasting. Listen deeply into the quietest place within your soul, where my voice does not thunder like a mighty wind, but rests as gently as breath upon your heart. There you will understand what I have spoken from the beginning. What you long for is not always visible at once. Yet within that unseen place, your faith is refined and made pure like gold through fire. When I say that the one who hopes for what has not yet appeared must learn to persevere, it is not merely a reminder, it is a key that opens what natural eyes could never recognize. You live in a world bounded by time and space, seeing only the surface of a story I have written from cosmic origins. You view the present with limited sight, while I see every dimension of your life like an open book held in my hand. You think silence is emptiness, but in truth, it is the hour when I am working beyond your imagining, arranging delicate pieces that, when you look back, will make you confess that not a single detail was accidental. You worry about the future, question promises not yet fulfilled, fear that what you ask for will remain out of reach. But know this before a prayer ever forms in your mind: I already know what is good for you, what must be delayed, what must be reshaped, what must wait for the perfect moment to be revealed. In the realm you cannot see with physical eyes, I have already set things in motion according to the plan I have chosen for you, softening hearts, changing circumstances, moving what seems unrelated yet is crucial in guiding you to where you must go. You may think I am late, but my child, I have never stepped outside my own timing. and everything I decree is carried out with flawless precision. Remember, I never ask you to be patient by your own strength, for I know human strength is limited. Your heart tires, your mind wavers under trials, and your hope can become as thin as smoke. That is why I give you patience as a gift from my spirit, quiet yet mighty power that holds you steady even when your legs tremble and your heart is full of questions. I am not telling you to sit idle like one forgotten at the margins. I want you to wait with the posture of one who belongs to the sovereign, to wait with the calm of one who trusts that everything in life is moving in the right direction, even when you cannot yet see it. The patience I give does not merely keep you from despair, it deepens you, matures you, teaches you to discern what is temporary and what is eternal. When you learn to wait in peace, you will see that what is rushed is easily broken, while what is nurtured by time and by my faithfulness endures and bears lasting fruit. I renew your strength not by removing every trial, but by placing within you the power to pass through the trial without being buried by it. Those who sincerely seek me and lean on me will renew their strength like eagles. They will rise above adversity instead of being dragged down by headwinds. They run and do not grow weary, because they run in my strength, not in their own exhausted striving. They walk and do not collapse, because my hand steadies every step, guiding you through turns whose meaning you do not yet understand. I want you to know that not a single prayer of yours falls unheard, not a single cry is forgotten in the dark, not a single sigh is dismissed as meaningless. You may think your requests are too small for me to notice, but my heart never grows tired of the voice of my children. Even the quiet tears that fall into your pillow when you are alone and do not know where to pour out your pain, I keep them as precious oil, because they speak what you cannot put into words. I hear you even when you whisper in despair. I see the slightest trembling within your heart even when you hide it from everyone around you. There is no movement in your soul that I do not understand. I am present not only when you succeed or feel strong, but also when you are weak, confused, uncertain, and weary to the point you can hardly stand. It is in moments like these that I draw nearer than ever, not to condemn you, but to gather you into my embrace, giving you warmth and strength to keep walking. In seasons when you feel frozen in time, neither moving forward nor going back, you assume I am silent. But in truth, I am acting most powerfully within the silence. I am working by deepening your faith, refining your heart, removing what no longer belongs to you. If you received everything you wanted instantly, your faith would never have room to grow. You would cling to results instead of clinging to me. But I want you to mature, not by the world's measurements, but by how I see a soul that trusts even before it sees, that hopes even while the promise still rests in shadow, that walks without being shaken by circumstances. This is the perseverance of one who understands I am never late. I am preparing what your narrow thinking cannot yet comprehend, and you will see, when the time is right, everything will open fully, missing not a single piece. Let your heart rest in this truth: you have never been abandoned. Even on days you feel as though you are crossing a desert with aching feet and a heart ready to give up, I still walk beside you, watching every tired breath, guarding your soul against the assault of fear and doubt. I do not let you go even when you have thought of letting me go. I patiently wait for you to return each time you wander. My love does not change with seasons, does not diminish with your failures, does not withdraw when you are weak. I still keep my word, still work, still lead, still make a way in the darkness, still kindle hope where it seems extinguished. And one day, when you look back at all I have done, you will understand that every slowing down, every delay, every silence carried a holy purpose, one that only trusting souls can truly grasp. You will see that every earnest plea has been held within my heart, Every tear has been wiped by me. Every groan has been understood. And every season of waiting has led you toward a fullness nothing else could replace. Engrave this deep within you. There is no moment you have waited for me that was meaningless. There is no stretch of stillness I have allowed in your life merely to waste your fragile feelings. Every tear you have shed, every sigh you have restrained, every worry you have been afraid to reveal, all of it I keep as treasure, because I know these are the very things that shape maturity within your soul. Waiting is not empty time. It is a sacred breath I use to realign your steps, your thoughts, and even your desires with what has been appointed for you in my kingdom. Do not assume that because you cannot see me acting, I have been standing still, just as a seed silently takes root in dark soil. So the work I do within you happens quietly, yet no less profoundly. I am shaping you through each stage, each trial, each decision that seems insignificant, so you become purer, steadier, strong enough to receive the glory I have prepared, as metal must be placed into fire to be refined. So I allow you to pass through days that feel beyond endurance, not to burn you, but to remove what clings to your soul and slows you, keeping you from stepping into what I desire to give. Fire tests gold, adversity tests faith, and a soul that has passed through fire no longer trembles before darkness, because it knows light is forged in the deepest place of trial. You must trust the timing I have ordained, because that timing is never early and never late. When you are confused, I see you. When you are discouraged, I still see you. When you are so exhausted you can only whisper, I hear you more clearly than the loudest cries. You wait for answers, while I wait for your heart to ripen, so you can receive those answers without losing yourself. There are things you desire with the fervor of youth, yet that very intensity can sometimes veil the eternal purpose I have written into your life. I do not want you to receive something only to lose it when the first winds blow. I want you to stand firm, like an ancient tree with roots deep in the earth, unmoved by rumors, by the gaze of others, or by small failures that do not matter. When I reveal what you have been waiting for, it will not arrive as a brief sparkle, but as a light that alters your whole life. You will know that no word from my mouth falls to the ground. No promise is forgotten in the stream of time. What I have determined, I will complete. What I have spoken, I will fulfill just as I govern the stars, and not one has ever slipped from the orbit I have set. Therefore stand firm in the hour you think you cannot endure any longer, because it is in such hours that your soul is forged into its greatest endurance. Patience is not a sad slowness. It is a gentle strength that keeps you from breaking. When patience is at work within you, you will find you are no longer frantic about the future, no longer afraid of others surpassing you, no longer restless because my process seems slow. I am with you. I do not let go. I do not leave. I do not grow weary of watching you stumble again and again. To me, each time you rise is more beautiful than easy victories. Every drop of sweat, every stretch of road you walk on trembling legs is a testimony to the will to live. I breathed into you before you ever learned to speak my name. You will receive your reward, not only because you waited, but because you waited with unshakable faith, a kind of faith that makes heaven fall silent to behold the rare steadfastness of a soul that refuses to give up. This is not the moment for you to let old sorrow pull you into the abyss, nor is it the time to accept that your life will remain forever quiet on the edge of failure. Do not allow harsh words, jealous glances, or those who want to see you falter to steal the joy I have planted deep within your heart. They do not understand the path I have appointed for you. They cannot see the battles in your soul that you have already survived. They do not know the nights you lay awake, the mornings you prayed in silence, or the moments you chose what was right even when it hurt. They only see the outward you, but I see what is hidden stronger, truer, braver, and far more beautiful than you have ever believed about yourself. What pleases me is not your perfection, but a steadfast heart that refuses to let go of faith. The closer you draw to your purpose, the louder the resistance becomes, and that is the sign you are moving in the right direction. Every step you take forward is a step that makes the darkness tremble, because it knows you are no longer as easy to break as you once were. Picture this in the place you cannot yet see. I have already prepared a host of warrior angels, standing and waiting like guards around a gate that is about to open. As you enter a new season of your life, you do not walk alone. You are surrounded by an army that has never lost a battle. Every prayer you pray is a trumpet call that summons them. Every tear you shed is a command that draws them nearer to shield you from unseen attacks. When you are weary, they lift you. When you are confused, they encircle your mind. When you tremble before the trial, they guide your steps across the line you once believed you did not have the strength to cross. Before long, you will step into the land I promised, where my presence rests over you like a halo, where you breathe a new peace, where you stand on ground firmer than you have ever known. Unfamiliar blessings are moving toward you, not merely like sparkling gifts to please the eye, but like an abundant waterfall pouring into your life, blessings enough to heal old wounds, enough to rebuild what has been broken, enough to lift you into a stature you never imagined you were meant to carry. Happiness will no longer be something you must chase. It will come looking for you when your heart is aligned with my heartbeat. You will discover that joy is not found only in grand things, but in the very responsibilities I place in your hands each day. When you do what I entrust to you with faithfulness, what once exhausted you becomes a pure source of gladness. What once pressed on your shoulders like a burden becomes a holy excitement. Because you know you are working with me, you will find meaning in ordinary work, light in duty, life in small acts. Because a restored soul sees everything through eyes opened by grace, and when those things draw near, you will realize that every year of waiting, every trial, every unanswered plea, every restless night has been a stone laid to pave the road to this moment. Nothing has been wasted. No pain has been meaningless. No time has been lost when it is placed in my hands. Everything is used, reshaped, and treasured to form who you are today, a soul that can stand firm in the storm, hope when every door is shut, trust when the way is not visible, and keep walking because you know I am always ahead of you, leading, guiding, covering, and loving you with a love that never fades. Today, if you open your heart to receive the warmth I am gently laying over your life, you will feel as though an unseen hand is lifting your soul from the dust haze of anxiety and exhaustion. For my love has never weakened, and my blessing has never drifted off its course toward you. When you let my words sink into you, like seeds falling on fertile ground, they will take root in your spirit and grow the steadiness you have longed for, yet could not find anywhere else. You have walked through many days when your soul felt as if it might collapse, and I have seen every time you drew back out of fear of being hurt. But child, those very hours only reveal that you have reached the moment when I intend to raise you to the threshold of renewal. My blessings are not far away, not hanging beyond your reach. They are drawing near like dawn, steadily dispersing the old night you thought would never lift. I have placed you in the position of one who is upheld not by empty promises, but by real movement in the unseen realm where I am gathering the scattered sorrows within you, peeling back each layer of pain you have carried too long, and breathing into you my new breath to mend the torn places you never knew how to stitch together. You may not see it with your eyes, but I am gently removing from your soul the mental burdens and old hauntings that stole your peace. I am placing within your mind brighter thoughts, deeper understanding, and a courage you did not know you could possess. Yet all of this becomes reality when you choose to believe that I am doing something new, and that my word is not only reaching your ears, but transforming your very breath and rhythm of life from within. In the spiritual world where I am at work, you are not small, forgotten, or pushed to the margins as you once thought. You wear the robe of one I protect, and I have set you beside me like a royal child entrusted with authority. When you feel unworthy, I see in you a holy beauty I placed in you from the moment I formed you. When you look at your life through disappointed eyes, I look at you with the eyes of the one who already knows every hidden potential you have not yet recognized. You are covered by my light, a light not given for display, but for protection and for adorning your soul with a fullness the world cannot provide. The issue is not whether you are worthy enough, but whether you will dare to open your heart and receive the position I have given you. You are an heir of promise, a bearer of covenant authority, one lifted to walk over the very things that once made you stumble. I want you to believe this with a stronger heart, for only when you truly believe can you live in the abundance I am pouring into your life. Many times you have thought you must try harder, refine yourself more, to be worthy of me, forgetting that I am the one who clothes you with wholeness and makes you new day by day. Your nature changes not because you strain yourself, but because you allow my love to seep into every corner of your soul. Believe that my power is working mightily within you, even when you cannot see it. The blood of the one who loved you to the very end has carried the strength to change what once seemed unchangeable in your life. There have been invisible cords that pulled you down, old memories, hurtful words others sowed over your life, mistakes you could not forgive yourself for, and I am breaking them one by one, as light tears through darkness without needing any effort at all. You do not belong to what imprisons you. You are no longer bound by old limits. You have been released from burdens you grew accustomed to calling part of your nature. Your freedom is not a concept. It is a truth I established with my own life. But what I desire for you is not only that you know you are free, but that you live as one who is truly free, one who does not return to the prison of self-contempt, does not fasten themselves to thoughts that wither the soul, does not bow before the old nature as though it still has power over them. I want you to walk as one renewed, as one who carries light, as one who understands their value in me. Freedom truly exists when you step into it with courage, when you do not let any voice other than mine define you, when you dare to rise and live as one who knows they are loved without condition, kept without being altered by time. Let your heart merge with what I am whispering now. Everything I do for you flows from love that does not shake and does not diminish. I do not come to interrogate you about your stumbles. I do not come to reopen the failures you have wept over, nor do I come to place burdens on you that make your steps heavier. I come to lift, to heal, to restore, to breathe into you a new life that makes you strong enough to enter the portion of blessing appointed for you before you ever saw the sunlight. I have seen you fight alone for too long. You have tried to hide your pain in the deepest places of your soul, thinking that if you endured long enough it would simply dissolve. But no. Child healing does not come from silent endurance. It comes when you allow me to enter, to open the doors you have kept locked for so long, and to cleanse the dark corners you fear to face. I am not afraid to step into what you call chaos. I am not frightened to touch what you think is broken. I do not withdraw from the parts of yourself you dislike most. My love does not retreat from your wounds. It draws closer, wraps around you, and undoes what once held you captive in fear. And as you live within that love, you will see that life is no longer the heavy journey it once was. You will look at everything with new eyes, eyes that recognize my presence in every moment, even in what you once considered the most ordinary. You will realize that all your efforts before were only a small part of the larger picture I am painting, and from now on, you no longer have to run while bracing yourself by your own strength. I have placed you into a new current, the current of blessing, of freedom, of unending hope, of strength pouring from an eternal source. From that place, you will walk as one who carries light, one who knows they are upheld by the one who never releases his hand from their life. You will find yourself speaking differently, thinking differently, choosing differently, not because you force yourself to change, but because my life within you is too strong for you to keep living as you did before. You are free, but you are also the one I desire to walk as free, one who knows they have been rescued, one who refuses to return to the invisible chains that once dragged their soul down into the depths of weariness and doubt. When you open your mouth in prayer, I not only hear every word you speak, but I also touch the secret tremors within your soul. And in that very moment I pour into you a strength you cannot find anywhere else in this world. From the instant you lift your heart toward heaven, I awaken within you an unseen support that only those who have fallen and risen again can understand. And from that strength, what once made you anxious will gradually become good soil where new blessings can grow. Yesterday you looked at life through clouded eyes, believing storms came to bury you. Yet today you will begin to see that those very winds have been clearing the way for what I prepared. The things that once dragged you down will no longer pull you as before, because I am lighting within you a brightness strong enough to pierce every layer of haze, and from the moment you walk by faith, instead of by passing images before your eyes, your face will carry the radiance of one who knows they are kept. I do not ask you to hide your sadness or pretend everything is fine. I only ask you to see reality through transformed eyes, eyes that recognize the final truth of your life is not suffering, but my promise that never fails. As you walk in that light, your emotions will no longer be dragged along by negative experiences or gloomy situations. Instead, your heart will be like a vessel filled each morning with fresh hope, and your soul will become as light as a sacred forest after the first rain of the season. You do not have to prove your strength in order for me to uphold you. It is enough that you know I am with you. That alone is sufficient to build within you a new person, more peaceful, more courageous, more trusting, and more steadfast. Once you become aware that I do not leave you whether you are standing on a high mountain or trapped in a dark valley, you will feel within yourself a powerful longing to live so strong that no circumstance can suffocate it. Your new day will no longer be a weary chain repeated without meaning, but a door opening onto opportunities I have quietly prepared. You will wake and feel as though a gentle breeze has touched your soul, urging you forward with a zeal you have never known, as if I myself placed a hand on your shoulder and reminded you, today I walk with you. Every step you take will no longer tremble with fear of failure. It will be firm, like the stride of one who knows they are being led by the one who never errs in any decision. You will learn to choose what is right even when it is difficult. You will enter places you once dared not imagine. You will become the one who stands at the helm in your family, the one who brings encouragement and peace to the fragile hearts around you. And when you are resolute not to return to the places I have brought you out of, failures, toxic relationships, ways of living that wither your soul, you will clearly feel the liberating strength I am unfolding within you. Like a great door thrown open to welcome a fresh wind, when the words I have spoken are kept in your heart and repeated each day, they will be like a stream of water refreshing the driest places deep within your soul. A single word from me can turn a destiny. How much more when you listen, meditate, and let my words seep into every thought and every decision you make. You will sense your heart being warmed in a wondrous way, not by anything the world can offer, but by my very presence touching you from within. The joy you feel will not be a fragile joy, easily shattered like morning mist, but a rooted joy, anchored deep in the truth that you belong to me and I am guarding you. Each time you open your mouth to declare my word, you are sowing living seeds into the soil of your destiny. Those seeds will grow over time, sink deep roots, and bloom in seasons you never expected. I know that people can so easily forget, so easily grow weary, so easily be swept up by negative voices. But when you let my word become a lamp in your mind, you will no longer be easily surrounded by darkness, because that light is strong enough to guide you even through the deepest night. And, my child, I want you to remember this always. I am the one who cares for you, not in the way you are used to thinking, but in the way only everlasting love can. I nourish you, not merely with food or money, but with the sacred assurance that whatever you are facing, in the end all things will bend toward what is good. You will witness not only deliverance, but renewal, not only getting through, but being elevated, not only what you hoped for, but what you never dared to ask. The trials you meet are not meant to destroy you. They are permitted to unveil new dimensions of me that you have never experienced. When you trust me, you will see that what you thought was lost was only a shell that needed to be broken, so that what I have hidden within could be revealed like a seed that must fall and die in order to sprout. Doors that once closed will open again in ways so gentle you will wonder why you ever trembled before them. You will understand that I never allow a hardship to end in despair. I always turn what seems like a dead end into a staircase that leads you into a new season. Even when you are in a season where nothing has changed in any obvious way, you can still believe that what is good is closer than you think. For I have never worked only to bring you back to where you once were. I lead you through cycles of transformation so you may reach a brighter version of yourself. Every trial is a lesson. Every delay is preparation. Every time you lift your eyes to heaven is a step closer to the promise. I want you to live with a holy confidence that your future does not depend on the turbulence of this life, is not subject to people's hearts or circumstances, but rests on my faithfulness, the one who never breaks a promise. When you place that trust in me, you will find you no longer fear the days ahead. You will look to the future with an open heart, a calm mind, and a strong will, knowing that every hardship is only a bridge carrying you toward the glory I have prepared. And then you will stand in the midst of life and smile, because you have understood a deep truth. No matter how many times the storm changes direction, I remain the only unshakable one, and my hand is always guiding so that everything in your life will end better than all you could ask or imagine. Now, open your heart like a door ajar to the dawn, and lift up to me your deepest prayers, the things you have kept within, never yet spoken aloud. Almighty God, the one who searches the hidden shadows deep within my soul, today I kneel before you with all the honesty my fragile heart can offer. Please lift me from the burdens that weigh me down and set me free from the fear that clings to my steps whenever I want to move forward. Help me see that my waiting is not meaningless, but part of a vast plan that only you can fully understand. Grant me strength to keep walking, even when tomorrow is still unclear. And give me courage to trust your word in the hours when I feel hope has faded. I place my soul, my family, and my future into your hands, the only place where I can find true peace. Loving Father, you who have led me through spiritual droughts and never left me for even a second, today I lay all my thoughts at your feet. Teach me to wait with faith, to persevere when the answer has not yet come, and to keep peace when I do not understand your will. Remove the worries I carry. Free me from self-blame, from memories that make my soul sink low. Shape me as you desire. Grant me a spirit of wisdom to choose what is right and to turn away from what draws me far from you. I know that with you, every path holds hope. Father, I thank you for a faithfulness that never changes. Though I tremble, you do not move. Though I doubt, you remain patient. And though I fall, you always lift me up with mercy. I am grateful that you have walked with me through my darkest seasons and shone your light upon every fear. I thank you for every miracle you have done in silence that I did not even recognize. Lord, I bow my head in gratitude, that you have guarded my family day by day. I do not know how many times you have kept harm from our door, healed what I could not see, and made a way when I was trapped. Every peace we have comes from your hand. Every blessing I live in is a gift from your kind and generous heart. I thank you, Lord, because you have never abandoned us. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. So, together, we can build a strong community of faith.